Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. And if you're new, do me a favor, please subscribe and click the notification bell down below so you can be notified of all my new videos. And do me a favor, if you enjoyed the video, please give me a like. I'd really appreciate it, and you definitely help out the channel. And with that said, guys, today I want to talk about this Nintendo Switch Mini. I've been listening to rumors of this thing for at least a year plus now, and it's definitely coming. It absolutely makes sense. The 3DS is on its last legs. In my opinion, the 3DS is a dead console, and the 2DS, same thing. It's a dead console. Nintendo's not making any new games for it. Yeah, there may still be a couple games that kind of trickle, on it, some third party stuff. I really haven't even seen much of that lately, so if it's not supported by the company who actually makes the stuff, you can pretty much consider it dead. Let's face it. But it had a good run. It was a good console, but the Nintendo Switch, that's Nintendo's main focus right now. And they're definitely focused on the Nintendo Switch Mini. It's something that's gonna happen. They're probably been working on this thing behind the scenes for quite a while now. I'm sure they knew that they were gonna do something like this. They always refresh their consoles, and it only makes sense that this thing is cheaper. It cuts out some of the pricier things that make it cost so much, like the Joy Cons, HD Rumble, the dock. I mean, right there, those three things can cut the cost of this thing significantly. And I believe it's going to be the same as a regular Switch in the sense that it'll still be able to jump to your TV by hooking it on the dock that we already have, or maybe a new style dock, maybe something you just sit it on. But let's face it, it's gonna be the same basic concept. That's what makes the Switch, and that's what makes it so popular. The fact that you could use it as a handheld or as a home console, which it does a good job at both. And this thing will be smaller, be more for kids or people that just want to play in handheld. Because let's face it, some people don't even use their Switch in dock mode. I actually do both quite a bit. I can't say that I do one more than the other. I definitely use it a lot in handheld and docked. And I think it's a great console. I absolutely love it. I knew right away when I got it day one after playing it for a few hours that it was gonna sell. I mean, it just was amazing when I realized that I could just take it anywhere. Even though I knew that I could do that, it didn't really hit me until I actually did that. When I had to go somewhere and I was playing Breath of the Wild, and it was like, hey, you can just take that with us. Oh, yeah. Wait. Yeah, I can take it with us. Oh, man, that's awesome. Yeah, let's go. And I got in the car, and I was a passenger just playing Breath of the Wild. And that was awesome. That's when it truly hit me. It was like, wow, this thing is going to be huge. And it has been very successful. And it is huge. I mean, it's a big deal. Nintendo, I think, really struck gold with this idea. They tried to implement this kind of stuff before, but the technology wasn't there. Well, now the technology's there, and they're doing it. So it's absolutely great. And the games, man, the games, they have some great games for the Nintendo Switch. And it seems like every time I turn around, there's just more great games or more great games on the way. It's crazy. You can't even keep up with all the great games that it has. It's just so many, and it seems like every time you turn around, there's a whole lot more. But this, what you see on screen, is from a case manufacturer that makes cases, and they leaked this design because they've been working on cases for this thing. And they could have been working on these for a little while now. I don't think this is a big shock. I mean, this is a leak that has come out, and it's all over the place. You can find it pretty much anywhere. But it's not a shock to me. I'm not shocked at all that this case leaked out. Of course, Nintendo's going to keep this stuff quiet until the last minute. They don't want to sacrifice sales on the Switch they already have on the market. This thing is probably going to release before the holiday. I heard some speculation about September, and September seems totally reasonable. They have some great games coming in September. I mean, one that I'm dying to play is Link's Awakening, the Zelda game, the remake. Man, what a great game! That was originally a great game, and it looks like they just made it look way better. And man, I can't wait to play it because the game's awesome, and the new game looks awesome. I cannot wait to play it. It's unfortunate because I already played it a few times and beat it, so I already know what to expect and run through it. I wish I never played it before because then I could just experience all that excitement again for the first time. But I mean, I have no problem experiencing that excitement with different visuals because it does look totally different and looks awesome. I am a huge fan of the art style. I think it looks great, and I think it looks like if they took the original game and made it now. I mean, I think they did a good job trying to recreate what they did, whenever it was 20 some years ago, because it is a fantastic game and I'm glad they're remaking it. But I mean, you got that coming out. Then, was it a month or so? Yeah, a month or so later, you have two Pokemon games coming out. That's huge. I mean, you have games like Astral Chain coming out, I think, in September. Let's see. You have a couple other pretty heavy hitters. I think what is it? Three Houses. That game is coming out. What is that? I can't think of the name. It's one of Nintendo's huge games that are coming out, and they're all coming out at the right time. Right soon after that, I don't know when Luigi's Mansion's coming out, but that may be September as well. I don't think they gave a release date for that one yet, but who knows? It's just Fire Emblem Three Houses. That's the name of it. I couldn't think of it, but I mean that's a huge game coming out. I mean there's a bunch of huge games coming out in September, and alongside this, we think Mini to be coming out in September. I think it's going to be coming out in September. I'd say it's definitely coming out before Christmas. There's no doubt about that. I mean, if you got people already leaking the cases, I mean, they're going to want to sell more stuff for Christmas. And let's face it, the 3DS, it's on its way out. Yeah, they may still sell the 2DS and some of the 3DS models. Probably more just 2DS. They'll probably still sell them through the holidays, but I don't think it has too much longer, and they'll stop manufacturing it completely. And you'll see a Switch Mini totally take its place, and hopefully we'll see a Nintendo Switch Pro. That's what I would like to see. I'll probably still pick up a Mini as well. I mean, I'm just a huge fan of the Switch. I think it's a great console, and I play a lot in handheld mode when I'm at work. I play in handheld mode on almost all my breaks. My break in the morning, at my lunch break, I'm constantly playing. If I'm in a doctor's appointment, waiting in the waiting room, I'm playing my Switch. Sometimes that's the only times I get to play some of these games is when I'm, in my work break or at a doctor's appointment waiting. I mean, let's face it, being an adult gamer is not an easy thing to do when you have responsibilities. But it's a whole lot of fun to have something like this. It definitely gives you a chance to play again more often than not. And this case looks awesome. I mean, I think the Switch Mini in this picture definitely represents what this thing will look like, and I think it looks awesome. I cannot wait, especially to have a dedicated D-pad. Oh man, I mean one that's actually made by Nintendo again. I mean, right there for me, that's something to be excited about. Because let's face it, the Switch is an awesome console, but the lack of a D-pad on those Joy-Cons, man, whew. It can be a little tough, because I do like a good D-pad. And let's face it, the Pro Controller is a great controller, but the D-pad on it is not my favorite. There's definitely some better D-pads, and that's not one of my favorites. Something smaller like this, I think they'll knock it out of the park probably with the D-pad. The one on here looks great. It looks low profile, but it looks fat, and I like that thickness to it. It looks like it's real meaty, and hopefully this is really representative of what we're going to see, and I believe it will. And I hope Nintendo does all kinds of different colors to this thing, or like special editions. I would love to get like if they, well, let me put it this way: if they come out with the Breath of the Wild Switch system, I'll be getting it. There's no doubt. But this may make me probably collect more Switches. I already do have two. I have well, they're both mine, but I gave my kids one of mine to play on. But I have two of them. My launch day one and one I got a few months later. But I mean, if they're solid colors, oof, it's going to be tough, especially with special editions. It'll be tough for me not to want to collect these things because I am a huge fan of the Switch. And I think that's going to be like most people. I mean, I treat my Switch almost like a cell phone. It's not something I want to share. It's mine. It's like having a tablet or your phone. You don't want to pass your phone around. It's just like, it's personal at that point. And this looks like something just like that. You don't want to be passing around your phone or your tablet. I mean, here and there, yeah, it's okay, but it's not something you want everybody to have their hands on. Let's face it, it's just the way it is. And I believe the price that they could get this thing down to is I truly believe they'll be charging 200. I think they probably could charge less, but I don't think they will. I think they'll charge 200 because you figure if they drop the dock, the HD Rumble, I don't know if they'd sacrifice the NFC reader. They may. But just detachable Joy-Cons. I mean, right there, by sacrificing those things, I think they're sacrificing quite a bit of money. And especially now, they'll be able to get cheaper parts for this, unless they're upgrading the internals some, which would be fine too. But I mean, let's face it, they could probably sell this thing for 170. Let's realistically, I'd like to say 150, but I know they wouldn't do that. So 170 maybe, but no. I believe this thing's going to sell for 200 all day long, considering the regular Switch sells for 300. And that's $100 off. That's still a pretty big jump down. Because people see 200 or 300, it's easier to just grab 200. And, you can almost get two of these for the price of a Switch, one regular Switch, and maybe two games or something. So, people, especially for Christmas, I think will be enticed to buy more than one of these if they have multiple children. And like I said, too, it goes back to not wanting to share your Switch like a cell phone. It's just one of those things. You don't want to share your stuff. But what do you guys think about this? I'm excited. I can't wait. I'll probably pick up one of these minis, even though I already have some Switches, two of them. And if they come out with a Switch Pro, I'll definitely be picking that up too. But let me know what you guys think about the Switch Mini. When do you guys think it'll come out? It's definitely an interesting topic and so much fun to talk about. And hopefully we'll see this thing sooner than later, and we'll get an announcement hopefully soon. I'm definitely looking forward to an announcement anytime now. But that's the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give me a like and subscribe to the channel. I'd really appreciate it. But that's it, guys. I'm the War Train, and I'm out. Have a good one.